If we had to choose just one number that's more associated with Jesus than any other number, it would definitely be 3. That would be his numerical number, which is associated with him more than anything else. Jesus prayed 3 times in the Garden of Gethsemane. There were 3 hours of darkness from 12 to 3 p.m. Jesus dies at the 9th hour, 3 p.m. The blood moon confirmed by NASA that was visible in Jerusalem was on the Passover, was on a Friday, and it was April 3rd, Friday, 33 AD. Jesus was 33 years old, and his ministry lasted 3 years. As a child, Jesus was in the temple for 3 days, and his parents went to go look for him. There were 3 witnesses to the transfiguration: John, Peter, and James. Jesus raised 3 different people from the dead. There were 3 crosses, 3 people crucified. The inscription on the cross is in 3 languages. Peter denies Jesus 3 times, and then Jesus asks Peter, "Do you love me?" 3 times. Jesus appears 3 times to his disciples after being resurrected. There's 3 witnesses to the resurrection: the shroud, the Lucidarium of Oviedo, and the empty tomb. Jesus was rejected/condemned by 3 high authorities: the Jewish high priest, Herod, and Pilate. That shows that his rejection by man was complete. He receives 3 gifts at birth: gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Number 3 is the number of resurrection. And the number 3, the blood stain on the man in the shroud/Jesus, is 3 centimeters long. And Jonah was in the belly of the whale for 3 days. And Jesus said he would leave for this wicked generation the sign of Jonah. The numerical sign of Jonah is 3. And what do we see written in blood on the forehead of Jesus, the man in the shroud? 3. The physical universe consists of 3 things: time, space, and matter. Space is dimensional: length, width, and height. Matter coexists in 3 states: solid, liquid, and gas. Water consists of 3 elements: 2 parts hydrogen and 1 part water. The ELF waves around the Earth consist of 3 components: the E wave, the electrostatic aspect of the wave, and the magnetic aspect of it. And since we're on the subject of ELF waves, let's talk about what are ELF waves. ELF stands for extremely low frequency, also known as Schumann's resonances. They are global electromagnetic waves. They are excited/powered by lightning strikes with wavelengths equal to the circumference of the Earth. It's a standing wave of electromagnetic energy approximately 55 miles above the Earth's crust. A big wave all around the entire globe 24 hours a day. A higher power electric line all around the Earth. When the ELF waves were first discovered in the early 1950s, the military used the ELF technology, extremely low frequency, to communicate to submarines in deep water. These ELF wave signals are capable of going through solid rock or lead, to penetrate any substance, and travel any distance, even light years. Allow me to explain the significance of what I just said. Let's say your cell phone was based on ELF technology, extremely low frequency waves. You could be encased in lead and put at the bottom of the ocean, and you could receive calls and make calls. You could be on another planet. I'm not exaggerating. You could be on Mars, or you could be on the moon, and you could receive and send calls with your cell phone. That's the power of ELF technology. That's the reason the organization called HAARP spends millions, perhaps into billions of dollars, to try and replicate, to imitate the technology. It is a scientific fact that people, plants, and animals receive information from these waves. That's not a theory. That's observed in science, a demonstrated reality. Years ago, no, these ELF waves around the Earth, they didn't evolve. They didn't start out as a rock and then evolve into a wave that flew its way up above the Earth and became a communication system. No, these ELF waves around the Earth are here for a purpose. They carry sensory data information on a standing wave of electromagnetic power and energy with a wavelength equal to the circumference of the Earth. That information doesn't create itself. It's not a random accident. It's there for a purpose. It's there for a reason. Without them, life as we know of would no longer exist. The ELF waves is as important as receiving oxygen. All living things on Earth receive information from these ELF waves. If they suddenly were no longer there, all hell would break loose. Nature would be in chaos. Plants, animals, and people, we are all dependent on the information that we receive from the ELF waves to maintain the normal function of the mind and body. If you don't believe that's true, ask a NASA astronaut what happens when they left the Earth and became disconnected from the ELF waves. Which raises a very interesting question. Who created this technology? Who is the intelligent designer of this incredible communication system? Alright, so this is the most sophisticated, powerful communication system in the world that we know of. And there's no governing authority over it. There's no one watching over it. It's just running itself. There's no higher power intelligence / God overlooking this, managing this, making sure the system is operating correctly. It just runs by itself, right? It's a random accident. The highest amplitude frequency of these ELF waves is 7.831 hertz. To maintain that, this is what it takes. 50 to 100 lightning strikes every second to power it. Up to 6,000 a minute, 360,000 every hour, and up to 8 million lightning strikes a day. It has to be maintained and governed by what? A higher power intelligence / God. Here's another coincidence to throw at you. People that have supernatural abilities, like a psychic hired by the FBI, they tested their brainwave patterns. They did a electrocephalogram. By incredible coincidence, their EEG came out at 7.831 hertz. This is a 2 plus blank equals 4 mystery to solve. Where are they getting their information from? Only one answer fits. I can't speak for anyone else personally, but this 7.831 hertz ELF website sounds like something we might want to consider logging onto and getting in tune with. Radio God, 7.831 hertz. The human brain is actually designed to send and receive extremely low frequency signals. Note those words: designed, intelligent design, as in created. These ELF waves around the Earth, they don't follow universal inverse square law. What does that mean, universal inverse square law? That means the wave does not slow down over distance, over space. It's like if you threw a baseball and it was traveling at 50 miles an hour, it just stays going 50 miles an hour and never stops. That means that in each passing second that is going by right now, a law of physics is being broken. We want to see miracles, but we don't acknowledge the miracles that are happening right in front of our faces in each and every second that goes by. Only one thing actually does stop the ELF wave. That's the human brain. That's because the creator of this communication system designed it to be able to reach you no matter where you are, with you personally.
I can't do negative today. Positive vibes, positive vibes.
Come check this. Come check this.
I can't do negative today. Positive vibes, positive vibes. I can't do negative today. Positive vibes, positive vibes.
Come check this. Come check this.
Нихуя себе, это что такое? О, нихуя метеорит, блядь.
Внимание,
Ебануться. Нихуя себе. Ебануться. Нихуя себе. Ебануться. Нихуя себе.
Ебать, а! Что это хуйня? Никит, что это такое? Бомбардировка, нахуй! Артподготовка, блин!
Победил. Как источник информации, он показывается мало интересен. Он может
I can't do negative today. Positive vibes, positive vibes. I can't do negative today. Positive vibes, positive vibes.
Come check this.
I can't do negative today. Positive vibes, positive vibes. I can't do negative today. Positive vibes, positive vibes.
Come check this.
If the world warms by 3 degrees, the Arctic is ice-free all summer. The Amazon rainforest is drying out. Snow caps on the Alps all but disappear. El Niño's extreme weather patterns become the status quo. The Mediterranean and parts of Europe wither in searing summer heat. This could be our world plus 3 degrees.
In a 3-degree warmer world, these kinds of summer heat waves will just be the norm. So an extremely hot summer by this point will actually bring the kinds of temperatures into Central Europe that you now experience in the Middle East and in Northern Africa.
The summer of 2003 may have opened a window onto life in a world that's 3 degrees warmer. All across Europe, an unrelenting heat wave developed into a natural disaster. Paris tends to empty in the summer. Many elderly stay behind. Nobody could have anticipated the danger they'd be in. Emergency room doctors were the first to realize something was terribly wrong. Emergency room Dr. Patrick Pellew quickly realizes the heat wave is turning into a catastrophe.
You had such a heat wave comparable to a flamethrower igniting an entire area. The number of people who died on the night of August 10 is between 2,500 and 3,000.
The death toll would top 30,000 across Europe. In France alone, over 14,000 died in just a few weeks.
The heat wave of 2003 was probably the first huge catastrophe due to global warming that affected a rich country. A rich country that thought itself to be protected from everything. Well, that was wrong.
I can't do negative today. Positive vibes, positive vibes. I can't do negative today. Positive vibes, positive vibes. Shh.
Come check this.
Shh, shh, shh. I can't do negative today. Positive vibes, positive vibes. Shh, shh, shh. I can't do negative today. Positive vibes, positive vibes. Shh.
Come check this.
If the world warms by 6 degrees, from a distance, the oceans may appear bright blue, but they are marine wastelands. Deserts march across continents like conquering armies. Natural disasters become common events. Some of the world's great cities are flooded and abandoned. This could be our world plus 6 degrees.
Warmings of 6 degrees over longer time periods have been associated with some of the most devastating mass extinctions which have ever taken place. So it's certainly fair to assume that if temperatures soar by 6 degrees within less than a century, that we're going to face nothing less than a global wipeout.
6 degrees of warming has been called the doomsday scenario. Our lives would never be the same again.